Hello guys, welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about demons and shinobis. So yeah, let's begin. So we currently see now our boy Izuku as he's currently in the bed of Ikaruka. Or at least I think that's her name, let me just check again. Yeah, Ikaruga, yeah, correct. So, as while he was sleeping, he would be dreaming about his mother, as you'd see this. Mom, sorry, I'll get up, you would say. As while he was saying that, he would be going nearer and nearer towards a now still sleepy but somewhat awake Ikaruga, as she would say this. It's morning already. As she would look towards, right beside her and would see Izuku talking about his mother, or at least sleep talking. As she would say this. He actually seems kinda cute, she would say. As while she would saying that, she would notice that Izuku seems to be, now be crying as he'd say, Mom, don't leave, you would say. As he would be clawing at, clawing at nowhere, or at least clawing at something. As while she was hearing that, she would say, "Oh, right. I did hear that his mother was killed. Or gone to an accident. Let me just..." As she would get close to him, as she would try to wake him up. As while she was about to, basically shake him a little bit, she would hear, "Hey, Ikaruga, let's get to breakfast," she would say, as the person would be revealed to be... We currently see now a somewhat dressed Katsuragi, as she would say, "Hey, Ikaruga, it's time for breakfast." But before she can say anything else, it would spook, Ikaruga, causing her to basically leap and slam face first into Izuku's face. And because of that, anime logic dictates that they accidentally kiss. When this happens, Ikaruga would just be a blushing mess, as we would now currently see a mischievous faced, Katsuragi, I should say. "Oh ho ho, you're taking advantage of Izuku-san over there," she would say, as she would basically be making her eyebrows basically go up and down, and probably doing the Lundy face at the same time. Sorry about that. Anyway, continuing, with this episode, as she would say this. It isn't, as while she would said that, Izuku would start waking up, as you would say. What the hell, he would say, as he would basically stand up, as he was clearly shirtless. Both Katsuragi would obviously notice this, but you would also see a now blushing, Ikaruga, as she would say, "I didn't notice anyways," as she would basically, be blushing even more, seeing that, he has a pretty fit body. But not only that, he seems to have several scars running around his body, as she would say this to herself. Um, how is he? As she would start, blushing even more, as we would now see a even more mischievous, Katsuragi, I should say. "Oh, you seem that you are on the man cake himself, eh?" she would say. As she would say, "Shut up," she would say. As Izuku would say, "You're being too freaking loud." As he would say that with a nonchalant, face. As he would say, "Anyway, what do you want?" he would say. As they would see his one red eye glowing a little bit. As she would say this. "Well, it's breakfast time now, Izuku." As he would say this. Just call me Midoriya. Anyway, where's my shirt?" As while he was saying that, he would grab his shirt from the ground, as he would say, got it. I'll be changing. Actually, I need to take a shower as well. Morning, I guess." He would say nonchalantly, as he would go to the bathroom. After saying so, Katsuragi would look towards her. Specifically, Ikaruga, as she would say, so you did it, she would say. As she would say, I did not, she would say. It was just, I didn't mean to. You just startled me, and I accidentally, as she would say this. Yeah, say that to yourself. I'm so gonna tell the others, she would say, as she would say this. No, you are not, she would say. As she would say this. Aw, the all cold and composed Kagura. I wait for a second. Ikaruga is all flustered, she would say. And just my cute old man, she would say, as she would basically, give off that, like, bloody face, as she would say, as she would basically grab her so that she would say, I'm so going to punish you for this, she would say, as she would say this. Anyway, bye, she would say, as she would start running towards, the mess hall where they're gonna eat. As after doing so, we will currently see now Izuku finishing up his, finishing up taking a bath, as he would say, guess it's time for me to get breakfast, he would say. As while saying that, he would start moving towards the direction of where he thinks is the mess hall. When he finally arrives there, he would say, Morning, guys, he would say. Obviously, his hair is still pretty much a mess. As one of the girls would say this, Oh, morning, Izuku, being that of our cute little bunny girl over here, our cute little bunny girl over here, aka Hibari, as she would say this. So, how was your sleep there? Considering that, even though you were sleeping with a girl, right? She would say, as she would say this. Surprisingly peaceful. Though I definitely did have a bad dream, he would say. As one of them would say this. A bad dream? What was it? Said a somewhat concerned Asuka, as he would say. It's nothing, he would say. Obviously a bit cold. As she would say, Oh, as he would say, can you pass me the miso soup? He would say, as she would say this. Oh, right, she would say, after getting the miso soup, she would basically pass it towards Izuku, as he would say, up, ikidakimasu, he would say, as she would start eating. After finishing eating, he would start, getting out of the, room, or more specifically the dining hall, as he would start cleaning the dishes. As one of the girls would say, being that of Asuka, she would say, Hey, you don't really need to clean our dishes. I mean, you are the guest, so as you would say, No, I insist. It's just common hospitality, I guess. Or I guess it's more like I basically did this for my entire life, so I should say, wait, you cleaned the dishes? Even though you were a guest at some point? As you'd say, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to be rude. I wouldn't want to be a burden or anything. I should say, I see. So, Izuku, I wanted to ask, how's it like talking to your demons or anything? As you'd say, well, even though they might be called demons, they're far from that. They're actually more like humans than anything else. They're essentially created from human minds. Like, for example, the concept of Lucifer himself. That just comes from the human mind itself. And that of that stupid so-called god created, or at least the other gods were created, and thought of himself as the one true god. Because of this, as he would basically finishing up, while putting up some of the knives, as you would say, and because of that, he thought that he should be the only one worshipped. And thus, as he would basically put the last knife in there, specifically one that was washed, as he would say, and that's how God basically came to be, and gained his power by basically stealing it from the other gods, and basically essentially turning them into demons, or at least vilifying them, essentially. I mean, some of them were already villains at some point. I mean, have you seen Zeus? As after saying that, she would say, I see. Then, what about Orthros? Your partner, or at least the one that I heard about, as you'd say. Well, he was the first one I ever gotten. It was given to me by grandfather and uncle. When I first started this, I didn't believe that I was able to take care of him. At at that time, I was just weak. I didn't know how to use him. I didn't know how to command him. He was just a, what I might call a wild dog, even though it may be a bit offensive. Though after a while, and after one traumatic incident, let's just say we became close friends and partners. As you'd say, I see. Anyway, so we're gonna go start training now. If you want to watch, then as you'd say, sure. It just keeps my mind. It will just keep my mind from thinking of those times. She would say, as she would say, right. Anyway, I also heard that you were attacked by some of Hibijo. As he would say this. How the hell did you know? He would say. As she would say this. Well, an informant of ours, well, came to the scene and saw you fighting against one of the teachers of Hibijo. As he would say this. I see. Honestly, she was just light work. Though I was a bit surprised that she decided to run away. Oh well. Anyway, continuing on, he would say, let's just get going to your little training session. I am quite curious about your ninja techniques. But though, I am quite concerned about your shinobi transformation. Like, why do you rip off your clothes? Like, at some point you just think, wow, I can't believe that you're actually gonna do that, he would say. As she would say, honestly, I don't know why. It just happens. As you would say, yeah, happens, you would say. As he would, just look at her a little bit, as you'd say, are you sure you're not an exhibitionist, you would say? As you'd say, I am not, you would say. As you'd say, yeah, sure. Anyway, let's get going already. As you'd say, right, I'll take you there. As you'd say, okay. As after saying so, they would start going towards where they're going to be training, specifically a large mountain. So, when they arrived, Izuku would see a beautiful lush forest, and not only that, some bamboo, like a bamboo forest also near there, and a nice pond, as Kiryu would be there, as you would say, great the old man, he would say, as she would say this, well, can you at least be nicer to your father, considering that you're his, well, son? As you'd say, I am not, and I am not his damned son. As she would say, oh, okay then. As after saying that, he would say, just, I'm sorry. As she would say, oh, okay then. And so after they arrived, Izuku would say this. So this is the training ground? As she would say, yep. As Kiryu would say this. Alright girls, we're gonna be starting your training, and Izuku, as he would say this, what is it, old man, he would say, as he would look towards him, as he would say, so, you can, guess you can watch, the training, but try not to, get hurt, as you'd say, I already been hurt already, I mean, have you seen my broken arm, or at least the lack of it, he would say, as he would say this, yeah. Anyway, girls, let's start training. And so, this is where we're gonna be ending off this episode. So, yeah. So, before I actually leave, I wanted to ask, would you want me to make the Azure Lane what if? And yeah, it's gonna be a what if about Izuku being an Azure Lane, but specifically the powers of an Elden Lord, or at least the powers to basically use Elden Ring, Elden Ring weapons and the sword. So yeah, so just comment down below. And anyways, I hope you liked the video. Comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.